Welcome to this lesson for Excel 2016 on Vlookup and Hlookup. Vlookup stands for vertical lookup. It searches vertically through the first column of an array and then returns a value in another column. For this example, in A9, I typed the name of a product from the table above. Then in B9, I want to get the price. So to set up the formula, in B9 type equals Vlookup, press tab. First argument is the lookup value. This is the item being looked up, the product. So click A9, comma. Next is the table array. This is the array of cells being searched. It must contain the value being looked up and the value that's to be returned. So in the table, I need to drag and highlight from A2 to D6. Then a comma. Next is the column index number. This is the column where the value being returned is located, which is the fourth column from the left, the price. So type a 4 here, comma. The final argument is the range lookup. If you want an exact match, you select false, or you can type a 0. False and 0 mean the same thing. If the table was sorted in ascending order and I wanted an approximate match, I would type true or a 1 here. I want an exact match, so I'll type a 0. Press enter, and there's the price. Vlookup searched through the first column of the array I selected, and when it came to refrigerator, it went across to column 4 and returned the price. If I type a product in A9 that's not in the list, like stove, Vlookup returns an NA error, which means it's not available. Next, I have an example of a sorted table. A table of discounts. The more you buy, the bigger the discount. You type how much was bought into A9, then in B9 the amount of the discount is displayed. In this case, I don't need an exact match. I need the closest match to the amount being looked up. In B9 type equals Vlookup, press tab. First argument is the lookup value. That's the amount in A9. Click A9, comma. Next is the table array. Drag and highlight A2 to B6, comma. Next is the column. The discount column is second from the left, so a 2 here, comma. Now the range lookup. The table is sorted in ascending order. The values ascend from smallest to largest, and I want an approximate match, not necessarily an exact one. Approximate match will return the next smallest value if an exact match isn't found. For approximate match, you can leave this argument out altogether, or you can choose true from the pop-up, or type a 1 here. 1 and true mean the same thing. This is binary logic. I usually type a 1 myself. Now press enter. As you see, we got a 7% discount. The amount purchased was above $2,500, but below the $5,000 level. When the range lookup argument is set to 1, Vlookup searches down the column. If it reaches an amount greater than the lookup value, 5,000 here, it jumps up 1 row to the row with 2,500, then returns the value in the column specified by column index number, which was column 2. Make sure you use the correct range lookup value. If I double-click on B9 and change the last argument to a 0, then press enter, I get an NA error. It's looking for an exact match and can't find it. Hlookup is the horizontal version of Vlookup. It searches horizontally across the first row from left to right for a value, then returns a value in another row. Here's a table where the products are in columns rather than rows. I've got a drop-down with all the products in A7, and I want to find the model number for the product. Into B7, type equals Hlookup. Tab. First argument is the lookup value. That's the drop-down in A7, so click A7. Comma. Next is the table array. That's the range between the top row and the row with the value I want returned. This will be the first 3 rows. We don't need the price row this time. Same with Vlookup. You only need to select the array that contains the value you're looking up and the value you want returned. So drag and highlight B1 to E3, comma. Next is the row index number. That's the row where the model number is located. This is row 3, so type a 3 here, comma. Finally, the range lookup. I want an exact match, so choose false or type a 0 here. I'll type 0. Press enter. Hlookup searched through the first row for the lookup value. When it found it, it returned the value in the same column on the row specified by the row index number. Now on this sheet, I have Hlookup searching for a row of grades for a score on a test. The table is sorted in ascending order from left to right, lowest to highest, so in the lookup range I need to make sure to specify this. Into B5, type equals Hlookup, tab. First argument, the lookup value, that's the score. Click A5, comma. Next is the table array. That will be B2 to F2, comma. Next is the row index, which is 2, the second row down, comma. I'm looking for an approximate match. The table is sorted, so I can either leave the argument out entirely, put a 1, or choose true. I'll put a 1 just so I know what's happening if I go back to the formula later. Press enter. Hlookup went from left to right across the first row looking for 88. It got to 90, then jumped back to the left 1 column, and gave me the grade in row 2, specified by the column index number. You won't really run into situations where you use Hlookup often. Tables aren't usually arranged this way, so Vlookup is much more commonly used. Well, that's all for this time. Thanks for watching.